Hey everybody, welcome to this week's Down Home with Tina. I hope you're having a good week so far. And I do have my positive message to share with you at the end of the show. Also, I wanted to I'm adding on to what I had said last week because I had so much to share because I'm selling t-shirts. So I want you to, yes, if you can get a t-shirt, we're trying to help out a friend. But anyways, we'll get to this week's show. I've got a couple of really great guests coming up. I have also got my first responder who is going to be towards the end of the show. He's one of our local Lancaster firefighters. But before that, it is Dave Stockum. He is involved with Lions Clubs International. And he's been doing it for several years now. And I always love with what they've got to share. And they've got a newer foundation is what it is. It's into its second year, but he's going to share that with us and so much more. So I hope you'll stick around. Got a lot to let you know about. You're watching Down Home with Tina.
The Frankie Smith Funeral Home and Crematory in Lancaster and the Johnson Smith Funeral Home in Baltimore have a long and wonderful history of serving our community. Feel free to give us a call at 740-653-0652. Stop in and see us at either of our two locations, 405 North Columbus Street in Lancaster and 207 South Main Street in Baltimore. Respect for tradition, regard for change.
Hi, I'm Brandon. I'm a recovering addict. For 10 of the last 11 years, I've been struggling with addiction, homelessness, incarceration, and just loneliness. However, since getting clean this past year, I've accomplished more than I have in those 10 years combined. After attending outpatient counseling services, inpatient counseling services, living in a sober living house, and attending 12-step meetings, I've been able to regain control of my life and begin to achieve goals I've always dreamed of. Addiction can destroy lives in many ways. Whether you need help with childcare or financial assistance, everyone deserves a new beginning. Recovery supports are just that, supports for recovery. My life mattered. Your life matters too.
This message is brought to you by the Fairfield County Adam H. Board.
Welcome back to Down Home with Tina. I have got Dave Stockum with me. He is a fellow that I have known now for several years, and out and about every now and again we'll run into one another. But who Dave is, he is the former district governor, but he is in the state leadership of Ohio Lions Clubs International. You're very involved. You keep doing, and when I run into you, there's always something new. So before we got started, I was like, now what's your title now, Dave? Because right. I know you tell me, and it's a whole lot of stuff, so I was like, I gotta write this down. I don't wanna mess it up for you. Because how many years have you been involved with Lions Clubs?
I've been a Lion for 12 years now. So.
What's it been like, and why did you decide to become a Lion?
Well, when I retired from teaching, I was looking for something to do, and one of my good friends, Don Hilliard, was in the Rushville Lions. He said, come on out here and check this out. And, you know, teaching's a service profession, so.
Yeah.
You know, Lions are, our motto is we serve.
Yeah.
So, you know, we're doing the same thing. And I also felt as a way just to continue to have a group of friends that would grow. You know, so one of the tragedies I felt in my dad's life was he outlived all his friends growing up, you know.
Wow.
The last couple of years, you know, it was pretty tough. As they'd passed, he was the last one to be there. So.
Wow. And you're working at getting there and doing the best you can while you're here. I know my last show, I shared my quote was, live your best life today.
Sure.
Live your best life. And by
you
doing
know,
that is by serving.
People that want to be a Lion or,
yeah.
Lions don't make people good, you know, good people make Lions good, you know, is what it amounts to. So.
What is Lions Clubs International? What is their mission, and what all do they do? My goodness, because they've got a lot under their umbrella anymore.
Yeah, 1925 at one of their early conventions, Helen Keller was the speaker, and at that point she challenged them to be knights, you know, of vision. And so vision has always been one of the major areas of Lions. Yeah. But now we have 5 platforms, and vision is still the biggest, but environment, hunger, diabetes, and pediatric cancer. So.
Wow. And you're the executive director of the Pediatric Cancer Foundation, aren't you?
Right. We had, it's in its second year now. We have a Pediatric Cancer Foundation, and there's 4 foundations associated with lions. Two of them have to do with sight and hearing. One of them has to do with disaster relief, and then this one has to do with pediatric cancer research.
Do you think it was because of teaching that's why you wanted to get like as involved as you are, like as executive director? Or was it just one of the groups you were like, yeah, I'd like to do this? Or why did you decide?
This came out of leadership training we have within the Lions. And the third year of our training, a certain group I was with, were challenged to do a legacy project for the 100th year of Lionism internationally. And we chose pediatric cancer, and two of us were, I guess, advocates of that being the subject of our program. And the other fellow was going to be a district governor. He said, "Do you want to try to push this while I'm the district governor?" I said, "Sure." So
yeah.
And so that's why I'm the executive director right now.
So what all is it that you guys do under your foundation?
Last year, in our first year, we raised enough money to give a $25,000 grant to Rainbow Babies Children's Hospital.
Wow.
And pediatric cancer sort of has two parts. One's childhood, which is up to the age of 15, and then 15 to 19 is adolescent.
Okay.
But that's extended in a lot of hospitals because kids at that age are a lot of times coming back for chemo, and so it's called adolescent and young adult. And that grant last year went to the 7th floor of Rainbow Babies Hospital is where they do the chemo and so on. And so it was creating family-friendly lounges and things like that.
Oh, yeah.
Now, Nationwide Children's, one of the projects was to provide Legos to all the children coming in there, for chemo and so on.
Yes, yes.
And so that every child there gets a new Lego set, which he can play with while he's doing his chemo and so on.
Right.
Over at Dayton Children's, they donated $25,000, two of our districts, 5 and 6, to
Oh my goodness.
support one of their wings. And it was funny, our grant at Rainbow Babies, if we got the $25,000, was going to be matched.
Wow.
And so I asked the director up there, I said, well, how much is this person matching? And she said, up to $5 million. So I said, we're kind of small potatoes right now.
What a goal to get to, though.
I saw that Alexander's Lemonade Stand, which is a popular pediatric cancer foundation in Pennsylvania, operating since like 1996, I think, has donated over $200 million now. Wow. So that's lofty.
Yeah, but
and we're
it
at the
can
ground
happen.
floor, but
it can happen. And this is just, you said, what, your second year in?
Yeah, and the thing that happened here is that after we adopted this, the following year, the International adopted pediatric cancer as one of the planks of our service platform.
Yeah.
And in the United States, about 85% of the children that are identified with cancer, it's remediated in some way. And generally that means that they're going to survive 5 years or more, which is a small number, 5 years. But internationally, especially in the underdeveloped countries, it's down in 20-25%. So
wow.
That's it. The need's out there. Obviously.
Absolutely, yeah.
Another reason we like it in Ohio is because in the 2020 U.S. News and World Report on pediatric cancer hospital rankings, Cincinnati was 3, Nationwide Children's was 8.
Oh my.
Cleveland Clinic was 17, Rainbow Babies was 25,
Wow.
Akron was 51.
Wow.
So the 70 corridor is extremely strong in terms of research and treatment.
Nice.
Of pediatric cancer. So that's it's a natural thing for Ohio.
Absolutely.
And our foundation, the monies we raise stay in Ohio.
Okay.
Because we're the Ohio Lions.
That's just how you do
so
it.
that's kind of what we do. So, if you want to hear just a few numbers,
Certainly.
that led us to this. In the United States, there's 43 new cases a day,
Oh my goodness.
which
and
means
pediatric
over
cancer.
15,000 in a year.
And pediatric cancer
Yes.
alone.
Yes,
Oh my
15,000 a year.
Oh,
1 in 285 children or adults, kids will have cancer by the time they're 20. This is the United
Oh my
States.
goodness.
It's the leading cause of death by disease in children, about 1,800 a year. And it doubles the chances of a child's chronic health issues. And part of the problem with that is the treatments in the past have been adult protocols.
Okay.
You know, so that's where the research, if it doesn't find cures,
yeah.
you know, we want to find kinder treatments
For the
because
kids.
a lot of these problems end up being heart, lung, you know, digestive issues from the radiation, the chemo, and things like that.
And so that's why they're trying to get the research and what they need
That's
to
a
make
big part of
it
that.
better for the kids,
Right.
to where it's not as harsh maybe, or where they can go in with it.
Right.
Oh my goodness, Dave. So we just have like a minute and a half left. What can you share that we haven't shared that is most important? I mean, other than anybody that wants to be a Lion.
Well,
member.
the most important issue, I guess, is funding for research.
Okay.
The National Health Institutes, only 4% of their monies for cancer research goes to pediatric cancers.
Oh.
And that's partly explainable because pediatric cancers, the numbers seem large, but they're nothing compared to breast cancer and
Oh,
colon
right, yeah.
cancer and so on, you know.
Right. Yeah.
So, but that's where the need is out there for funding. So
Okay.
you can go to olpcf.com.
You knew my question.
That's simple. olpcf.com. Ohio Lines Pediatric Cancer Foundation.com.
Okay.
We have brochures in there. We have statistics. We have how to donate. Things
Okay,
like that.
wonderful. Thank you so much for what you do and continue to do. And he's going to be another title the next time I see him. So I'm not. No, it's great though. It's good
We'll
stuff.
find something else.
That's right. He will. He'll keep going. Folks, thanks for watching. I'm going to be back in just a minute. I'm going to have a first responder who I'm going to highlight for my first responder of the month. You're watching Down Home with Tina.
Fairfield Federal. When it comes to our customers and our community, we go above and beyond to help. Our people make the difference.
We were retiring from Tucson, Arizona, and we made a retirement trip out around Ohio, having decided that's where we wanted to be. And we came across this town called Lancaster, and we fell in love with the downtown area, where the fountain is, and the memorials, and the flags, and all this stuff. And we looked around, and I said, "There's our bank, right there."
There's something to be said about a community bank in your hometown.
Right. If you live in the community, you should do business in the community as much as possible. So it makes sense to bank with the community bank where you live.
Fairfield Federal is the bank to be at. If you live in this town, or any town actually, you want to bank at a local home bank. And the employees are happy here, they're conversant, customer service is through the roof. There's nothing more you could ask for.
Personal or business banking, whatever you need, we take it seriously because we know you do. Stop by today at any of our 3 locations and see why the difference is clear. Fairfield Federal Savings and Loan specializes in banking that revolves around you.
Member FDIC Equal Housing Lender.
Welcome back to Down Home with Tina. It is my segment where I have my first responder of the month, Lieutenant Jeremy Kraner. He is with the Lancaster Fire Department, and I did my ride along. Many of you already know this. It was back in September, and he was there for part of the day because there was a whole lot going on all the time with the fire department, and they sometimes need folks, those other firefighters, to come on and do some overtime. So you were there for part of the day. And I was really glad to have gotten to know him and work with him for a little bit. It was just an amazing day, and I just smile about it because it really was a day that I will always remember. I'll never forget just the things that happened, the things I learned, and the importance of what you all as our first responders, and I got to see some of it firsthand. So of course, thank you for what you do, but we're gonna sit here and find out a little bit about, number one, why did you decide to become a firefighter?
Well, it's kind of funny because after high school, I really didn't know what I wanted to do. I was going to go to college, and that didn't pan out. So I started working for a plumbing company, and was really excited the kind of money I was making. And then I was kind of bragging to my father, who was retired from the city at the fire department. And he's like, well, I pretty much make that kind of money too, and I get all this time off. And so life happened. I got on the volunteer department in Carroll, and went through fire school. My first training fire, my father decided to go along. So he got to take me in my first training fire, and I was hooked.
Aww.
It's pretty awesome. And then, I took a few tests, mainly Lancasters, and then finally got on Lancaster in '99. And, one of them proud things, I got to work with my dad. It was awesome.
Really?
Yep.
So you got to be right with him.
Yep.
Oh, Jeremy, I think that's really cool. So you had somebody that you looked up to, that did something that you would become.
Yep.
Was it just a bond, I'm sure, that you guys could share?
Oh yeah, he's my buddy.
Forever? He's your buddy. So he's who you can go to when because some folks don't get that opportunity to be able to talk about what they do. And the challenges, because you've got them too, you guys, when you never know. Like I said, when I wrote my story about my ride along, you wake up every day and you go out there, and whatever that next call is, you might, because of the dispatcher, have an idea of what might be going on, but you don't know everything until you arrive on scene.
Exactly, and you get them circumstances, those runs that could really, a lot of people can mess with people.
Oh,
I'm very fortunate. I've got a supporting wife that has a career in mental health background.
Nice.
I can talk to her about anything, and she keeps me going.
That is pretty awesome. That's a huge blessing. Yeah. So we are here to not only, of course, highlight you, but I want to also sometimes have a topic that we can talk about with our firefighters. And one of those is, and I thought about this when you actually today sent me a message, because you did send me one the other day, and you said, do you have anything you want to talk about in topic or whatever? And today I was like, oh yeah, I forgot. I didn't let him know what I wanted to talk about, or topic, and it just came to mind because of the warmer weather. Spring is here, and what do people love to do? Wear their flip-flops and sit by the bonfire.
Exactly.
And that's fires overall too, with the bonfire. And I had thrown out there, the brush, people, can they burn leaves? Can they do this? What are some of the things in the city of Lancaster people need to be careful when it comes to all of the above?
In the city of Lancaster, they need to be aware of the wind, windy days.
How do you know, other than going out and seeing the wind?
Yeah, if you see the flag standing straight out, you shouldn't be burning. But in town, structures are close, so we have guidelines, and the public is invited to call the fire department, ask for those.
Okay.
And they're supposed to call fire dispatch. A lot of people don't understand or know that we would like you to call in when you're going to burn something.
And why is that?
So we know.
So that number one, that if it gets out of control, you know to be ready for it, and number two, that if somebody calls to say so-and-so's burning, we know. Yeah.
So in the city, 2 feet high by 3 feet wide
is bigger than what it could be.
Is how big it should be.
A bonfire, or for
bonfire, campfire, cooking fire, ceremonial fire.
What is allowed to be burned in your bonfire?
Seasoned hardwood.
Seasoned hardwood.
Firewood.
And where do you get that? Like that could be something that you
can purchase
anywhere.
It.
Okay.
If somebody's burning tree limbs that fell out that had sat and dried out like they're supposed to, not going to create a lot of smoke.
That's what seasoned is.
Yes. It's not supposed to be building materials. You can't tear down a wall in your house and take 2x4s out and burn them.
Because those are not seasoned wood.
Exactly. There could be chemicals put into those.
Okay.
Those are the kind of things that they don't want in the air. The EPA is hard on. So, and fires are supposed to be out by 11 o'clock at night, because after 11 o'clock, the attendance around a fire seems to go down. Okay. And that's, you get a wind gust come up and take care of it.
How often do you have trees that catch fire because if somebody's got a bonfire too close to the tree?
It's really not that often. Usually you get the complaint call before anything gets out of control in this town.
So if somebody's going to just have a bonfire, should they call you guys as well? Yes. Then? Even a bonfire, not like burning a brush. Because are they allowed to burn brush and things like that in their trash? No, they're not.
No trash.
No, not at all. So it's only allowed in the city of Lancaster.
Seasoned firewood, hardwood, firewood.
And does it have to be in a fire ring? It can't just be
out on a fire ring. Something to contain it, and have a water source nearby. Water source, garden hose, dirt to stomp it out with, something to be able to put that fire out with.
Okay.
Extinguisher.
What is the biggest misconception about, I say misconception, that people don't know? Is it that it needs to be seasoned wood? Or do they try
Yes, they're like, well, we didn't know we couldn't burn that. Because the green wood produces a lot of smoke.
Okay.
And a lot of people, respiratory problems. So everybody's going to have their windows open in springtime when it's nice out. You get in, somebody get an asthma attack. You could be burning something that's got irritant in that could set somebody's allergic reactions off it. So those are the kind of things you look for.
And I know that you're not part of this, but I also know that the city of Lancaster is where folks that can call when they do have a lot of yard waste, and they do want to get rid of that.
Yeah, I understand that.
Building
too.
material, they're going to have to call the city of Lancaster to figure that part out
Take
as
out
well.
the transfer station.
That's
do the
right.
thing.
Do that, yeah. Don't try to burn it or anything like that. So anything else that you wanted to share that folks may not be aware of when it comes to, just other than the wind and the the flag's upright, you just want to make sure. And it's too dry, even if it's too dry.
Yeah, the county's
What about
already
that?
been busy with grass fires throughout the spring already. So the green season's coming. We're getting greener. Things will slow down, but there's still a lot of dry brush and a lot of dry weeds out there.
Lieutenant Kraner, how do we know? Obviously, it's the middle of July and you've got brown grass. Yeah. That's dry.
Yes.
You don't want to burn. But how do we know otherwise when it is safer? Because of right now it looks like it could be okay because it's rained a little bit here and there.
Call the fire department, ask for burn regulations. That's the safest way.
Okay.
We're going to give you the safest way it means possible to have a controlled burn of some type in the city.
Yes, I know. And it's so funny because I'm just thinking we're in the interview and somebody's going to say, Jeremy, it's your call.
And honestly, if you don't think that you should burn, call. Yeah. We can send somebody out and say, yep, this is a good fire ring, good fire pit. You're not too close to a structure.
It's better to ask than to do
and
then
be in a bad
end up
position and something catch on fire.
Okay, really quickly, the distance of buildings and things and structures. How far does a bonfire have to be from that?
25 feet away from a structure.
25 feet from any structure. Okay. I was like, did you say that or not? I can't remember if you had said that part of it.
That's the minimum.
So yeah, it's the minimum. So you got to have your yard be out where there's no. Okay. I want to thank you so much, and I'm very excited because I say excited because with first of the month is brought to you by Pay Food Market, and they're just a great place. They are yummy. So, but I always give cookies, which you're used to my cookies because I made a promise that I would try to get over. I would try. See, I promised that I would try to get over 2. No, and I think I have held up to my promise since I did my ride along that day to always bring you guys. I said chocolate chip cookies at least once a month. I try to. Yeah. Do you ever get any?
Well, here's the funny thing. It seems like they always show up at station 2. I'm usually at station 3 and station 1. So
I take it to them.
You need to take
sometimes.
a detour every now and again. Find them crew 3 days.
Okay, I'll try and find out those crew 3 days. I'll ask you here in just a minute when those are to make sure when I take cookies over. Well, every time I do my show, when you make cookies, I make a whole lot. I only have 4 guests, and I don't send them with a whole lot of cookies. So I will have to make sure that in the next couple of days, I still have my cookies. I'll have to bring them over. Anyways, Ava Jewelers, they are a great sponsor of the show, the Down Home with Tina show. And so there's a gift certificate in here for you for that. And of course, just my little thank you note and another certificate for one of our local businesses that I love. Ale House. 1890. So if you like the Ale House, there's a little one, something. And then, of course, the cookies just for you.
Thank you.
I thank you so very much.
My wife.
Yes, with Ava, number 1. And then you could treat her by giving her a cookie if you want. I thank you for all that you do. Keep doing it. And I know you've got some great things coming up in the next year, too. So, but I don't know if he'll come back or not. We'll have to see how much he loved being here today.
It didn't hurt.
It wasn't too bad.
No.
No. Thanks, Jerry. Lieutenant Kraner with the Lancaster Fire Department, my first responder of the month. Folks, I'll be right back in just a minute. It's Down Home with Tina.
Dagger Law has been part of the Lancaster community for more than 110 years. This is where we live and work. You'll see us at festivals, sporting events, and all around town. We consider our clients as friends, and we walk alongside you through challenging times. Whether you're a growing business, a changing family, facing litigation, planning your future, or dealing with land issues, we're right here. We are local. We are trusted. We are experienced. Dagger Law.
Welcome back to Down Home with Tina. I want to thank my sponsors for giving me the opportunity to be here. And I also want to thank you for following me and for watching the show each week, because if it weren't for the sponsors and weren't for you, I wouldn't be here. So thank you so very much from the bottom of my heart. I shared a positive quote with you last week, and I was in I don't want to say a hurry, but of course, I don't have a whole lot of time to share things sometimes. So I wanted to just add on to that. So last week I was talking about when we wake up in the morning, when I wake up, I say, I'm going to live my best life today. And I was with some friends and we were having a cookout, and I said, you know what I'm going to do? I've just started doing, actually. I wake up and I put my feet on the ground and I say, I'm going to live my best life today. And our one friend said to me, so how do you do that? Now, I have to give you a little story. My one friend husband, he just passed away recently from cancer. And so she's going through some, really tough time, I'm sure, right now. Emotional, of course, when you lose a loved one. And we all as friends, it's very heartbreaking. Well, I said, I know that I have my challenging days, but when I wake up in the morning, I tell myself that every day. And then if I come to a moment in my day where I'm having a challenge, I remind myself. I say it's just training my brain to say, hey, I'm living my best life today. Doesn't mean we're going to have things that we're not going to face, those challenges and stuff, but it just reminds us of that. So I wanted to share that with you, this little message with you, because sometimes what I'll do is I'll get on my phone and I will write out my thoughts. Like I'll just type my thoughts down. And when I was getting ready for the show today, I thought, I want to add on more to this, I'm going to live my best life today thing. So I'm going to read what I wrote. This was months ago, and it totally goes along with what I'm sharing with you today. So this is what I had said. At the end of my life, I want to meet God and have him say this to me. You used up every ounce of talent I gave to you, my child. You never let the grass grow under your feet or dust settle on your shoulders. I'm so very proud of you. And I continued to write, I will continue to give and be adventurous and quirky and silly and laugh and cry and talk too much and laugh too loud. I'll always do the best I can to make this world a better place by sharing joy and positivity. I'll never stop being and doing. I know not everyone will love me. We all know that, right? But I'll keep on loving anyway. Do and be brave. It's your life. You deserve to live your best life possible. So, I just want to remind you, live your best life today. Folks, you can watch Down Home with Tina a few different ways. You can watch it on CLN Spectrum 1021 if you have Spectrum, and you can also watch it on YouTube at CLN Your Hometown Connection. If you want to try to just get directly to Down Home with Tina, if you put Down Home with Tina in it, and then episode. I've got now, I think I'm on like 77th episode or something like that. This one is like 77th episode. We're going to do something really fun when it gets to the 100th episode, I promise. I don't know what it is because I haven't calculated out about when it's going to land, but we'll just have to, we'll wait and see what I can come up with from now until then. And then also you can watch it, of course, on YouTube. Or I said YouTube already, I'm sorry. You watch on my Facebook page, Down Home with Tina. And if you ever want to reach out to me, of somebody who's just absolutely, positively fantastic, they're an inspiration, you want to share their story with me, whether I can get them on the show or not, maybe it's something I could share on my Facebook. I haven't even entertained that thought until just now. Let me know. You can always email me. You can send me a message through my Facebook page, but you can always email me at downhomewithtina@gmail.com, and I'll do the best I can to get back with you within, like a day or two. Folks, I hope that you have a wonderful afternoon, a great evening. God bless, and until we meet again, which will be next week, good day.